Warmind, Warmind, Warmind. Of course, over the past few days, we've had a ton of information about the new DLC coming on May 8th for Destiny 2. But in this video, I actually have some brand new information I wanted to talk about. So I want to talk about some of the weapons in this expansion, in particular, a very unique weapon that we'll be able to get in this DLC. And this is a weapon we haven't had a look at just yet. It may also link to a possible quest in this expansion, so stay tuned for that. Also though, I wanted to talk about some new weapon archetypes, some seasonal vendor changes, which will mean some new rewards you can progress and unlock over time. We also have some quality of life changes, including a vault space increase and the ability to delete items directly from the Postmaster, plus a whole bunch of other stuff, so let's jump straight into it. What's up guys, Houndish here, and today let's talk about Warmind. So I'm going to start out with some stuff about weapons. We have seen a few weapons in this expansion. We've seen gameplay of the kind of frosty weapons, or the weapons with this Arctic camo skin. On top of this, the archetypes weapon set and armor that you can pick up from completing the Hive escalation event, and some Braytech weapons, which will probably come from the Mars vendor as well. And these are all weapons we've seen the perks for, we've seen gameplay of, and things like that. However, there is a pretty interesting weapon that no one has really spoken about yet. So if we take a look at Anna Bray right here, we can see that she's holding a very unique weapon. It's not a weapon model or a style of weapon we've seen too much in Destiny in general. And of course, it makes sense that a vendor and a character like this would have their own weapon. However, if we use some of these 4K screenshots, we do see this Titan with a very interesting weapon on his back. Once again, this is not a weapon that's been showed off yet. We haven't seen perks or gameplay of this thing. We don't know about its rarity or anything like that. Looking at the way it's designed, it's very, very unique. And once again, we get a different screenshot of it right here. Some kind of assault class weapon in general. It could be a scout or an assault, maybe a pulse. And we also see another screenshot right here of a Titan holding the weapon. This is also the screenshot that supposedly has a sleeper simulant in it. And it's very similar. I'm pretty sure it's the same weapon. So if you ask me, considering how unique this weapon is, and the fact that it is pretty much identical to the one that Anna Bray has, I would guess that this is going to be an exotic in this expansion. And a bit more about how we could possibly acquire this thing. Of course, I spoke about some new collectibles on Mars the other day, of which there are 45. And these are data fragments that you'll find in various areas on Mars. Interestingly enough though, if you remember the Anna Bray journal inside of the tower, this is actually a scannable journal. It does make reference to there being some data actually missing, or a certain amount of information redacted from the journal. And so it seems entirely possible that this data we're collecting on Mars could actually complete the journal and could indeed possibly link to this weapon as well. Maybe we have an exotic quest or something like that. Either way, it's a very unique weapon, or potentially set of weapons. Let me know what you guys think. I personally think this is going to be Anna Bray's exotic weapon. Another quick mention would be the sword on this hunter's back. It does appear to be a new model of sword. We haven't learned too much about any new swords that'll be in this DLC, but it looks like we're at least going to get a new legendary sword of some sort. Moving on though, on the subject of weapons, of course we did see the archetypes set weapons. It's just interesting to point out there is actually a new archetype of SMG inside of this DLC. So archetypes SMG version 1.01 is an aggressive archetype of SMG, high damage, high recoil, bonus damage at close range, and that's a 750 round per minute SMG. On top of this, we've also seen the Huckleberry SMG, which fits into the same archetype once again at 750 rounds per minute. So this class obviously sits between those 900 round per minute, things like Hero's Burden and the Risk Runner as well. And then of course on the other end you have the Antiope archetype, which is the 600 round per minute. So it'll be cool to see what these things are like. Maybe they'll be pretty good in the Crucible as well. Before I move on to any other subjects though, if you're wondering about pre-download for this expansion, according to the PSN store, the expected auto download date is the 6th of May. So of course that's a couple of days before the DLC actually comes out. Generally, if there is any substantial content to actually download, they do give, a couple of days or whatever for players to actually get that. Of course, this is just according to the PlayStation Store. I'm not sure if this is visible on other platforms. I don't think it is on Xbox, but just a quick guideline if you're wondering. But now I wanted to talk about some seasonal vendor stuff. So somebody on Reddit asked, why haven't they talked about seasonal vendor progression yet? And of course, this was something on the roadmap. DMG said it's coming in Season 3. Crucible ranks are a form of seasonal vendor progression, earning different ranks to get different reward packages and tiers. For Vanguard, I'll see if we can get you some info in the next week, at least before 1.2 goes live, so you know what to expect. So Bungie should be giving us more details about the Vanguard side of things, but they say that the Crucible side obviously fits into ranked play. And so Kevin Yanis did confirm before that you'll be able to unlock, certain weapons and things like that inside of ranked play. As we can see right here, there are weapons, ornaments, emblems, and things like that for both the Valor and Glory ranks. So whether you decide to do it competitive or the more casual version, you can get rewards for this. But the Redrix's Claymore, of course, the pulse rifle a lot of people have spoken about, is for reaching the Fabled level in the Glory rank. But Kevin Yanis did confirm that for those who push their Glory rank to Mythic and above, a special secret awaits you. So that's pretty interesting. We'll have to wait and see exactly what that's going to be. But of course, from what DMG said, they're going to outline some similar changes that we'll see in terms of progression in Vanguard and things like that. Next, though, we have other quality of life changes coming to the game. So I spoke about the new kind of quest or pursuit tab that they've added. On top of this, though, PlayStation Access confirmed that they were able to delete items from the Postmaster when they were playing this expansion, and DMG confirmed this. Guardians will soon have the ability to dismantle lost items that have found their way to the Postmaster. On top of this, though, PlayStation Access confirmed that you can also do this in the Vault, so if you want to delete something immediately from the Vault, that is something you can do. And on top of this, of course, Bungie confirmed we are getting an additional 50 slots inside of the Vaults in this expansion. So definitely good quality of life changes right there. The ability to actually delete stuff from Postmasters is going to be really beneficial. It's super annoying if you've got a full inventory and you're just deleting stuff for 10 minutes straight. And additional vault spaces are always good. Bungie have said they're working on more elegant solutions moving forward. These 50 slots are just to alleviate some of the pain for now. For some other very brief updates about this expansion and the end of this season, DMG confirmed there won't be a Clarion Call before Season 3 begins, so that event isn't coming back for the moment. He also said Iron Banner tokens will not be reset going into Season 3, so you'll be able to carry these tokens over. The same for planetary tokens and materials. Faction Rally tokens should not be reset, he's waiting for a full answer. The same for Vanguard and Crucible. And then for raids, the tokens will not reset. So just a couple of updates if you're playing at the moment going into this expansion. I did speak about new exotic masterworks a couple of days back if you want a full breakdown of how this stuff works. But they did show us in This Week at Bungie the Cold Heart right here, and this will come with Cold Heart Catalyst, found in strikes against the most challenging opponents. So basically this is a mystery objective, and this could potentially be a random drop from a challenging opponent in a strike, which will unlock that catalyst. And this is something that we have to figure out, as players and a community ourselves. But once the catalyst is actually found, it will apply a new objective to the masterwork. So you can see right here, Cold Heart, upgrade masterwork, defeat enemies using Cold Heart to unlock this upgrade. And in the case of some weapons, it's going to grant a new perk or ability that's actually changing up the weapon quite a bit. For Cold Heart itself, if you take a look at the stats right there, you can see that it's given it both a reload and stability stat increase, which is pretty generous, definitely much higher than the, 5% that we get on legendary weapon masterworks. And in terms of the objectives, how they're found, and what buffs and perks it actually gives to the weapon, they are all going to be completely unique and different, but they all will generate orbs like legendary counterparts, and Bungie confirmed that these will be rolled out at different times. So when Season 3 launches, not every weapon will have an exotic masterwork actually available, so if you don't see the Catalyst tab, it's not currently up yet, but they'll be making others available over time. So that's a really awesome progression system, considering it's actually to unlock, much more powerful versions. Essentially god roll versions of exotics exist now. So let me know your thoughts about that, guys. But of course, we are getting new exotics in the expansion, some of which we've seen, some of which we've speculated about, such as the Anna Bray exotic right there. And these presumably will be coming also with masterwork variants, and they're going to be tuned in a world where, a lot of the exotics have been buffed compared to what we've seen so far. We've seen a lot of changes that are coming to various different weapons, and we've got more to come yet. So anything new is also going to be pretty powerful, I would assume. One last thing I want to mention, perhaps if you haven't been up to date with all of the Destiny news in general, there are going to be a bunch of big changes coming to Destiny 2 later on this year. The Warmind expansion kind of starts to tip us in in the direction of how Bungie want Destiny to play going forward. But in the summer, so a couple of months after Warmind, there will be a new seasonal event. They're going to be faction rally improvements, so I'm assuming that's when the faction rally will return. We're also going to get bounties back in the game, PC clan chat, and exotic armor sandbox changes. But for September, that's when we'll see much bigger things, including weapon slot changes, weapon randomization, records, gear collections, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Of course, this is when we're supposedly getting the huge expansion for Destiny 2. So I just wanted to let you guys know, if you're wondering about further changes, there will be more stuff coming later on down the road. But guys, that is going to summarize the video. Lots of information to talk about once again. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, a like is very much appreciated below. Let me know any of your thoughts as always. Check out my sponsor, Into the AM, if you're after any awesome clothing. They do really cool t-shirts and hoodies. You've got hats, bandanas, Overwatch League shirts, and a whole bunch of other stuff. You can save 10% in the store by using code Houndish, and you can follow my tracking link in the description below. But thanks for watching as always, guys. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe to see a lot more Destiny 2 content, and I'll catch you guys very soon.